I think without further ado, let me straight away jump onto the topic. And as a researcher, my favorite topic is what next, right? So each one of you have demonstrated a great amount of success in your respective domains. You achieved a lot of success that is contributing to the concept of digital Telangana and digital India. Now, if I may ask you to kindly summarize, if I take your respective domain, if you can summarize what has been done and how are you addressing the question of what next. So let me start with Shri Chiranjuviluji. Sir, in the domain of urban development, right, the work which you have been doing, what is that you have been able to achieve and what next? What is the answer to what next?
Good evening, Kapil Devji. In urban development, granting permissions is one important function of any urban development authority. So HMDA, though basically it is a planning body, it also grants building permissions, layout permissions, and also occupancy certificate, change of plan, so many other things are there. So as a part of digitalization of the office, so we automated all these approvals. Today in HMDA, all the approvals are given online. There is no manual interface at all. So as a result, what happened, it increased transparency, accountability, and also timely delivery and hassle-free delivery to the citizens. As a result, the revenues of the HMDA has also gone up. So I used to get from these development permissions, so around 150 crores per annum in 2014-15. After introduction of the system, now we have touched about 300 crores. That means the revenues of the HMDA has doubled on account of the introduction of this development permission management system. In fact, we started in 2016 January, and quickly we have increased the services. Initially, we started with only building permissions. Later, we have gone to layout permission, we have gone to land use certificates, and we have gone to gated community. We have gone to NOCs for petrol bunks, film, cinema, other things. So one by one, we have gone on adding the services. So now it has increased the confidence among the citizens that they will get timely these permissions. So Government of India also, they have introduced this ease of doing business. In that EODB also, our online building permissions played a vital role. As a result of HMDA initiative, the same DPMS software is now adopted by GHMC and also Director Town and Control Planning and CDM also. In all the municipalities now it is being used now. So it is now upscale. So that one initiative. And digital initiative, second initiative, this LRS, BRS also, layout regularization scheme and building regulation scheme. I will tell in 2008 also, government gave this scheme, LRS, BRS. HMDA received about 52,000 applications under LRS. 2008 to 2013, total 5 years, they disposed only 32,000 applications. But this time, we have not accepted any manual application, no physical form of application. We received 1,75,000 applications, and in 1.5 years, we disposed about 1,60,000 applications, as on today. So the digitalization of the department has helped us. So that way, the department has transformed, and lives of the people also become very simple, easier. So similarly, we are now going to expand these digitalization initiatives on the part of HMDA, particularly with regard to master plan. So master plan is actually a growth engine which promotes the growth around the area. So that also now we are going to develop one app. So people can just enter the survey number of the particular land and village. It will give the land use of that area. So they need not come to the office and they need not ask for a land use certificate. So that kind of service also we are now going to bring in coming days. And also, HMD is having one UMTA, that means Unified Metropolitan Transportation Service. So under the aegis of UMTA, now we have signed an agreement with Ford's company, the automobile giant, to provide some common mobility applications to the commuters in Hyderabad. So already HMD has done some comprehensive transportation study, and we have captured the entire transportation ecosystem of the Hyderabad metropolitan region. So now we are going to develop apps basing on this data so that commuter feel convenient while traveling. So that kind of digital initiatives now we are going to take up in, already we have signed an agreement with Ford and work is now going on. So there is endless for taking up initiatives, but at the same time we have now cautioned about the data security. So what kind of security measures you are now taking up? In fact, our software also, now it is audited by third party and SSL is in place now. And we are not capturing any credit and debit card details also because our payment gateway is integrated, but we are not collecting that payment credit card, debit card details. Otherwise, it will be a breach of trust. Third thing is that login details, credentials we are capturing every time. Who is logging and what, when is logging. And also data backup also every day we are taking up. And also every week total backup we are taking as per the industry standards. And also we want to migrate to the state data center also for more accuracy and more safety for about the data. After hearing to you also once again we have to think of how best to secure our data. Otherwise we are going to put face a lot of troubles. So one side we are expanding our initiatives. At the other side we have to take secure of our data. Otherwise we will land in troubles. But it's a great eye-opening today that what type of care we should take to protect our data. So a good initiative, eye-opening today. Coming days definitely we will concentrate more on this protection and security of data, apart from expanding the services of the HMDA. So HMDA plays a pivotal role in building the infrastructure of this area. So we will also try to develop some more apps regarding the monitoring of the infrastructure works, particularly in this area. That also we want to have in mind. Similarly, with about to the lakes also. But as of now, today we are concentrating only on two issues. One is on master plan and second is on transportation. So already on outer ring road, we have started this intelligence transport system. It is going to be operationalized from 2018 April or May. So that work is already in progress. Similarly, in Hyderabad city also, this for transportation solution, we want to start this ITS, intelligence transport system, in coordination with police. So these are some of the initiatives. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Inspiring, sir. Very, very inspiring. Thank you. Thank you so much. I really liked one of the things which you said, which is that it is never ending. It is continuously there. So you achieve something and then you have to better that standard, right? And I must say that as a researcher, I'm really impressed with the kind of work which is being done in Telangana in the area of municipality and urban development and urban local bodies. I think, though I haven't gone deeper into that, but I think it could be, a case study in itself for the development of smart cities and things like that. So I could see that some of the structural and leadership aspects are present here. So thank you so much for sharing that, sir.
Thank you.
Now let me move on to Mr. Anand. You handle one of the key important domains, which is eradicating hunger. So how can food and essential commodities be supplied to the right person, to the right beneficiary, removing the bogus beneficiaries? How can the process be made more agile, simple, transparent, accountable? And then, of course, as Nikunj said, there's a lot of security-related aspects which are there, right? What is that your domain has achieved, and how would you address the question, what next?
Yeah, thank you. whenever anyone talks about PDS, the assumption is that it is all about a ration shop where someone goes and draws ration as a monthly ration of rice, wheat, sugar. But I also, to be honest, when I reported there, I also thought so. But actually, it's just one end of a huge chain. It's a huge supply chain, which starts from the moment the farmer brings the paddy to the paddy purchase centers which are opened. Now, just because of the paucity of time, let me just briefly indicate what all has been done in terms of IT interventions. Now, let me also give the figures. Now, in Kharif and Rabi seasons of last year, we had 11 lakh farmers bringing about 54 lakh metric ton of paddy to about 5,000 paddy purchase centers. Now, earlier, the payment to them, the minimum support price which used to be paid to them, was through checks and maybe sometimes through cash. And you know what happens when middlemen are involved and millers are involved, officers are involved. The farmer never used to get the MSP. Maybe if it was 1,500, he would perhaps land up with 1,200 or something like that. So we thought this is a very ripe area for intervention. What we did is we made everything online. We provided tabs at each of the paddy purchase centers. These tabs were purchased by the paddy purchase center in charges, which are managed by IKPs, the women groups and the primary agriculture cooperative societies. And they have to purchase it from the market fee which we pay them officially. In those tabs, all the details of each farmer were fed. The acreage, the production in that season. And after everything is sorted out, a truck sheet is generated and it uploaded straight into the servers. And then through the district manager, it comes to our head office. There we check everything. Then we identified SBI as a banker because it has the largest spread, especially after it took over SBH also. And these 11 lakh farmers' accounts were opened in the SBI banks. And then 8,100 crore rupees was pumped straight into their accounts. This is, of all the things we did, I thought this gave me and the organization the greatest satisfaction because it alleviated one of the biggest headaches for farmers who used to roam around these millers and these middlemen who used to trouble them no end. In fact, one of the contributing factors for their suicides, farmer suicides, is this, that they sell the produce and they don't get the payment in time and don't get the actual amount of payment which they're supposed to get. Now, once the money is in their account, they were the kings. They would decide on whom to pay. So that is one thing. Then after the paddy reaches the PPCs, it is transported to the mills. The millers, rice millers mill it, give us back the custom mill rice, which we again have to transport to the buffer godowns. From the buffer godowns, it goes down to the corporation godowns. And then after that, it goes to the fair price shops. So that is the entire chain through which it operates. So here you can imagine what's the stakeholders involved. There are transporters here, yes, you have storage, go down owners here, and you have fair price shop dealers. Now, we thought we should have a watch over these things because very often we used to have reports in the papers very frequently, maybe one or two in a week in the main papers, that huge lorries with these rice bags are going towards Kakinada and getting exported. There's a huge racket, because of the excess number of beneficiaries listed out. Whatever rice was being left, wheat and rice was being left, was being smuggled out. Everyone knew how many genuine beneficiaries are there, how many are not, are fake. So they knew exactly how much of quantity of these essential commodities will be left over, kerosene. So that with a priori, it is almost like a mafia, organized mafia, which knows how much will be left every month, the closing balance. Now we thought, okay, let us watch these lorries. There are about 1,500 big lorries operating in this entire system, taking the goods from various places, to various go-downs. So we thought we should watch them. We put GPS in each of them. And you know what a GPS does. It gives us the details of everything about the vehicle. And we opened a control room here. Now the project, after that, it was approved. Now each joint collector's office will have a control room where he will be watching his or her district vehicles moving around on the GPS. And we also thought, let us watch the go-downs, because the go-downs were the places, especially our corporation go-downs, were the place where all the diversions took place. So we have now installed about 1,800 CCTVs in these go-downs. And the concerned district is watching their go-downs, and at the state level, we are watching all the 171 go-downs activities. We have installed cameras watching the weighing scales, because that is where the diversion and reduction, that every bag, there's a taking away of 1 or 2 kgs of rice out of 50 kgs. There are a lot of things going on. So all these projects are being done executed by TSTS, MD is sitting here. So thanks to him, they're being done fast and well. And then we come to the fair price shop. That is the most important thing. We have about 2.75 crore beneficiaries of the PDS system. Now, earlier when the state was formed, it was about 3.02 crore. The total population was supposed to be 3.5 crore as per the 2011 census. Yes. So you can imagine, can you have about almost 80–85% under the poverty line? So you can imagine what's going on. So, but it's a politically sensitive issue. We need to be very careful in handling reduction of cards. Now, the best thing in Telangana is there is 100% digitization of Aadhaar seeding of these beneficiaries. Every single beneficiary has his Aadhaar number seeded. So it was ripe for introduction of EPOS, which got delayed, but now we have completed the process. In the last 6 to 7 months, there's been a special drive, and after the completion of the tender, the EPOS machines have been installed in all the 17,000 shops. In fact, we are going live, entire state is going live tomorrow, February 1st. The last 5 districts also it was completed. So that is a big achievement, because from the most rural areas, from the far-flung areas like in the hills, the small tandas and the tribal hamlets, from there also we are able to get these signals, send data through the EPOS machine. EPOS machine necessitates that the fingerprint or the iris is authenticated by the UDI servers, and within a few milliseconds the transaction is completed and you get the signals on the machine again that it is the right person. So what has happened is, we started this thing in the project in around March of last year, and till date we have already pulled back about 582 crores. We expect a closing balance of 828 crore in 1 year. If we take 15% closing balances of the fake card holders, the fake beneficiaries, who are not existing at all. They don't even come to the shop to draw the ration. But till now, the entire essential commodities used to be sold away in the market by the fair price shop dealers. So this has been controlled, and this is what technology can do. This is what. But for us, going forward, As you know, Aadhaar is a case, is a very, very sensitive issue. The Supreme Court is presently hearing the case. There's so many applications and all have been clubbed into one, and the constitutional bench is looking into the matter. It had come up earlier also, because our data, which is being reflected, NIC, UDI, and we have to work together. The NIC used to show all the details of the beneficiaries in full earlier. But when the question of privacy came up and the leakage of data came up, then we got instructions to reflect only the last 4 digits of the card number, and not even the name or nothing is shown. We can access it through our logins, but no one else in the public portals can see it. So these are the type of security measures which had to be brought in. And even now, as you have said, there is no dearth of cybercrime criminals, expert hackers who can hack into any system. I don't think we are still very secure with this data. I get that feeling every day because it is such a massive data. If you take the entire country, you can imagine the number of the crores of people's data on that network. We need to have, at our level, we are doing everything possible. For instance, the servers, the firewalls built into the servers are robust, and we keep checking on them, whether there's any leakage. Then and up-to-date servers are bought. You know, we don't want to rely on, we want to upgrade them and buy the latest so that the security systems are good. Then cloud technology also is told that, it was told to us that it is one way of reducing the costs of the servers, and also making it more secure. People are talking of blockchain technology now, you know, these ledgers. We have not yet understood how it works, but it's being told to us that that is a secure way of doing it, and Government of India level also, they're working on this. Whatever Aadhaar-based systems are there, blockchain technology is the best. So we need to explore that. And at all the other systems, we have so many softwares like the financial management system and the OPMS, the online procurement management system for the farmers. All these are being operated by CGG, Central for Good Governance. And we have told the DG there, Director General, that we feel they are not secure enough and the security systems need to be improved. So since this is a seminar on, a get-together on where we are discussing the security of our systems, so I feel there's much to be done in view of what all is going on. And the problem is the awareness in the officers in the department is very, very low. Even in NIC, which has all this data, they are not really very alert to this danger. They keep reading in the newspapers what is happening. The Russians could influence the American election. Okay, but how? I mean, how did it happen? How could they influence an election so far away? So these are the things we need to understand. And I think we are still, we need to, as a department, perhaps the IT department led by Jayesh Ranjan, they're doing wonderful work, and we need to focus a little more on cyber security and securing our systems. So that would be the way forward for us, and now that things are in place, now we need to secure them. That is what is the plan.
Thank you so much, sir. That was very, very inspiring. And I think we should give a round of applause for Mr. Anand's speech. And I completely agree with you that when we talk of PDS, we often focus only on the last mile. But we forget that there is a huge supply chain and there's a huge complexity which is involved, which needs to be addressed. So thank you so much for sharing that. Now let me come to Mr. Rao. So you are driving, a very key initiative of taking services across departments to the citizens across medium. And I must say that in 2017, we do a national level event called Gems of Digital India, and Me Seva Telangana was one of the winners in that. And we've written a case study in the book, which we published on that occasion. Wonderful job. I think in 2017 beginning, you had around 50 services. Within a year, ramped up to 300, and now you plan to move to 600 and offer it across platforms like web and mobile, right? In your domain, what is that you have done, and what do you feel is the answer to what next? Let's open.
Respected fellow panelists and audience, a very good evening to all of you. I think in Dr. Kapil Dev Singh's speech, in 3 sentences I would like to recollect again and then relate to what we do. He said collaboration between IT and other departments of the government of Telangana, that's number 1. Number 2, somewhere it's mentioned as integrated digital platform.
Yes.
That was the second thing I saw. And third, and most importantly, an extremely forward-looking statement called One Citizen, One Government. So let me see how the IT department of Government of Telangana is trying to address these 3, because we have done, in my view, a lot of work in all these 3 things. So coming to the collaboration between the different departments of the government, Me Seva of the government of Telangana is one of the best known examples of taking services to the citizen. See, the whole G2C service delivery, ultimate objective is what we call GATI, G-A-T-I, governance through accountability, transparency, and innovation. See, this is the theme every state would like to achieve, and Me Seva exactly achieved these 3 things. Transparency by removing the connect between the bureaucracy and the citizens. So what we have done is, the platform has a centralized platform where we have 4,500 centers across the state. And in the back end, we have close to 38 departments and about 600 services are integrated to this. Now, see, the best way to achieve transparency is making every service online. But the stage where our country currently is, suppose even if you make online, there is challenges of digital literacy and access to digital infrastructure, due to which, in my view, about 70% of the population cannot avail the service, even assuming you make the service online. So Me Seva is called assisted online. It is an online service, just like an online service, but it is in assisted mode. For those citizens who cannot do a transaction by themselves online, they can go to any of these 4,500 Me Seva centers, pay some nominal user charges, because the franchisee is giving his time and is giving his digital infrastructure, and then do the transaction. And then, as far as the citizen is concerned, for these 600 services, of these 38 departments, the Me Seva center is the government.
Yes.
That's all.
Yes.
So he need
very
not...
Aptly put. Very aptly put.
So, therefore, let me also, quick, I think, given time, this is what is Me Seva. Second, let me also talk about another initiative called T-App Folio.
Yes.
Because Me Seva was in the age of e-governance, and today, we are moved to M-governance.
Yes.
So obviously, Telangana would like to be there in the forefront. So we have launched this project on about a year back, and we'll be launching very shortly. So, for example, my colleague, they have got a mobile app called T-Ration. Perhaps CDMA has got a mobile app, I think, Buddy. So likewise, every department is building the mobile apps, because that's what they would like to serve to the citizens. But when we further looked into, see, mobile app, if you have to really good experience on mobile to the citizens, the mobile app requires, apart from the application and the hardware, you need to have a IVRS, you need to have an SMS gateway, you need to have a payment system, and you need to have a USSD system if you have to have a real high-class mobile service.
Yes.
Now, most of the mobile services are being delivered with application, hardware, and SMS because these three are available. But for USSD, IVRS, and payment gateway is a little complex to build. For example, USSD, it takes at least 8 months to build because you have to write to DOT, get the approval, and things like that. Likewise, IVRS. So what the government has thought is that through TAP Folio, we have done three things. We have created the common mobile services delivery gateway infrastructure, which has the hardware, which has the SMS gateway, which has the payment gateway, which has the USSD, and which has IVRS. So once we launch, all user department has to do is just develop an app and put on this infrastructure. Right from day one, you have all these with you. So the IT department is going to give you 5 of the 6 functionalities: the hardware, the SMS, IVRS, USSD, and payment gateway. All the user department is to just develop an application. But from day one, you have every feature. So this is the first objective of the TAP Folio. Second objective is, having built, MiSeva will be the first user of this folio. So in the phase 1, we will be moving close to 150 services to mobile. And this is the second aspect of TAP Folio. And third, when we looked at another thing is, for example, there is a T-ration. So user to have a username and password. Let's say GHMC, he has to have a username and password. So what we are telling is, this is going to be a master app, where backend we are integrating with all the government of Telangana apps. So if you have a user ID of TAP and Folio, once you are logged into TAP Folio, say T-ration, all those links, you click into that, you are automatically into the other app. So this is the third aspect of this thing. So as of now, in the entire country, there is only one state which has launched anywhere near this kind of thing, which is, you might be aware, Bangalore one, launched by Karnataka in 2015, and Government of India has launched Umang, the similar platform.
Yeah.
So at a state level, we are the second state in the country to be launching this. But I would still say both the existing TAP applications do not give a G2C certificates. It's more of billing system, information systems. And our system is going to also, you can apply for a resident certificate on mobile and get reply through any MiSeva centers. So let me come back to third initiative, which is your One Citizen, One Government.
Yes.
See, we have worked over last 2 years on this project. We have called that project as Citizen 360, Integrated People Information Hub. It's a unification of data sets across the government of Telangana. And it's already in production. And incidentally, it is the largest big data based platform launched and used by any state in the country as on date. And it also uses some of the latest technologies, including the network called GraphDB. Now, the whole idea of this thing is that we want to achieve 4 objectives. One is, can we help some departments like GHMC or Water Board, or let's say Transport Department, to increase their revenues by trying to understand from the other data sets. The second is, can we work and help the departments like ration, civil supplies, to further streamline their targeted subsidy delivery, what is missing by the current systems. Third is, how do we help the law enforcement for a better law enforcement. Fourth is a very, very unique objective which we are trying to look at. See, we all know, for example, I think most of the people have a driving license, most of the people have voter ID, so many things. But you go for any service to any government organization, we ask for 3 things. Please bring proof of identity, please bring proof of address, and please bring proof of date of birth. So most of the times we give a copy of our DL, maybe copy of some electricity bill or something, and a copy of something else. Now, interestingly, all these have come from the government, isn't it? DL has been given by Transport Department. Telephone, electricity bill is coming from another this thing. So we are looking at a situation that, can we serve a citizen without asking any question? He comes and says, this is what I am, so and so, says, my name, whatever, few demographic attributes, and system will immediately say, this is his driving license, this is his whatever, complete information it will give, and that we will not ask anything from the citizen. So we would like to really attempt that. So what we call, a document-free governance. Any citizen should be able to come to any government office or any of the Mi-Seva centers, identify himself and not give any certificate. Let's see, that's the vision.
Wonderful.
So this is a part of, again, unification of data sets. Of course, I must thank that these things are not possible unless all the departments, work with us very wholeheartedly. So therefore, all the credit goes to all the departments. For example, GHMC, let's say police was, I think Mr. Ravinder is there, because every department has worked. Now, coming to the security aspect, so now, as my colleagues have said, the IT department has little higher responsibility vis-a-vis other departments in terms of security. So we have the state data center, which has certain security levels as of now, but shortly, again, probably in the course of next 1 or 2 weeks, we'll be launching our Security Operations Center, SOC. Again, I think there's hardly any, currently only 1 or 2 states have this in place, with the latest, what they call SIEM, Security Incident Module. So thereby, which gives much higher ability for us to detect and monitor and counter the threats that we pose through that. So of course, we have a clear objective. The IT department has to how to build a stronger and safer, let's say, system for all the applications that are hosted in state data center, as well as to, I think he was talking about the printer side. So as a long-term plan, we do have a vision, how do we cover our endpoints also from the security perspective. So anyway, thanks for Mr. Singh for giving us the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Very, very inspiring indeed. And I think the way, you are building an infrastructure, not just for Mi-Seva, but providing it to other departments to be really mobile enabled and, be secured. I think that's a commendable job which you and your domain, your department is doing. So we heard, as an analyst, I am very excited to hear about the latest technologies being talked about. The latest technologies not just talked about, but being implemented, from the IT department side, from the user side. Let me now come to a very important stakeholder in this whole game, which is the industry, the technology industry. So my one simple question to you, Nikunj, will be, how do you think industry can collaborate, and what are the ways in which it can help in the domain of risk and security?
I am really poised with the kind of passion in this room is there. I'm really had very rare chances to listen to such dignitaries, that how the use cases and applications are being developed to make sure that citizens are in the forefront while they're developing such technologies from the government perspective. Coming back to the security for the government, I would call out one example before I would like to message what my message has for the government and how we can work together. For the New Delhi Municipal Corporation, okay, the immigration department actually got hold of somewhere around, I think, some 600 cases wherein the passport was issued based on the birth certificates, and they were able to get hold of some 60 fake birth certificates, which raised an alarm. And then they were actually looking forward that how to mitigate this. And we were able to get out to a solution to make sure that the fraud possibility, okay, with the anti-counterfeit measures and with the making sure that the multi-layer security is being invested into the birth certificate printing to make sure it becomes a deterrent for doing the fraud of that easily. Okay, we really increase the security levels to that level, and that NDMC, we are right now implemented the security for the government to make sure that the risk is mitigated from such kind of cyber criminals. Now we talk about documents like land passbooks, okay, or the farmer's identity for transferring the direct benefit transfer schemes and all that. That can be, extended to that all levels. Now, what message I wanted to give here is that go beyond the obvious targets. That's the next, actually, the mantra for cybersecurity. Think about the non-obvious. Think that your data can be connected and can be accessed from where. Okay? So we talk about the devices. Okay? Not the data centers, the servers are already have a high visibility, high solution to take care and protect that. Digitally, they are very, very stored, very, very protected. The next thing is that think about the device who connects. And second is that how the data is actually represented in the format of maybe a hard copy as per the requirement. So the device data and document story which I was talking. Now how this can be really, industry can help in working with the government to mitigate this. I will call out is to bring out a risk culture from the top, which is really, really different from that. It's not only about the business risks or the operational risk. It has to be seen from the IT risk to be brought in table to the highest hierarchy. Like, for example, I can give this banking organizations right now, which they have, what they have done, they have put up the chief information security officers reporting the chief risk officers, so that they can call out the IT risks while rolling out the projects from the complete perspective. And that chief risk officer are reporting to the board directly. What does it mean? There is a pure accountability, responsibility, and empowerment which is being brought into the culture, so that it can have a high visibility and high stake to get the information technology into the total cybersecurity risk assessment. Okay. Once you, as a risk officer, you are able to see that what are the risks, what is the cost versus risk which I can, then from there the top-down approach comes up to start mitigating it. Otherwise, we are waiting for the unknown, unknown area where we maybe get affected, right? So that is one of the key message. Another practice what I would like to recommend is that the internal incident management log or database should be maintained and should have an external risks or the external incidents or events happening also should be maintained, or we should be keeping track of that, so that we can have a reactive measures faster than the cyber criminals which are doing it. So I can see this practice can help to do a reactive measures, to adopt to a new policy to mitigate the risks. And proactively, as I said, the risk assessments should be done with a risk culture from top down, which will make sure that all the endpoints which are connecting to your data center, all the outputs going from your systems and applications are also very well protected, so that the cyber criminals should not find a way for new ways to really get a government processes or government documents as a victim to do a fraud again.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. So what I hear from you is that security should not be looked only from the point of point products and technology, but it should be around risk, the broader risk, and hence you need commensurate level of structural resources and mechanisms to be put in organizations, be it private or be it government. Very, very well said. I can go on. I think with them I can discuss for hours together, because it is all so very interesting, but I understand that we have a very interesting part of the evening left, which is the awards function. So I'll close it here. I would like to really thank Mr. Chiranjivulu, Mr. Anand, and Mr. Rao and Nikunj, of course, for their insights, for their thoughts. And I would love to hear from many others in Telangana, because I know that there are many, many success stories which are being written in the state of Telangana. So thank you so much for your time, sir.